I don't think they do.
Get up, wake up, this is your final warning. It's time for Midnight Sentinel Morning. The gang is ready to go, and it's time for the show. It's time for Midnight Sentinel Morning.
Big news! On this day, it's Wednesday. Welcome to Midnight's Edge in the Morning. That's right, we've got some huge news to talk about. We're going to get into it shortly here. As you know, the World Cup's going on. No, I'm just kidding. Conan news, of course, is the big news. But we have
Although
Paul
Norway
Chacho.
is kicking ass and rowing all over the world. So
Oh, their rowing is going on.
Scotland
Okay.
is playing Brazil.
Oh my god!
I did see that. That's why I said it offhand. I was like, and what's going on right now? Oh, yeah. The soccer and other shit. But good morning, everybody. We have Paul Chato with us out of Canada. How you doing?
Hello.
Good morning.
It's you mention out of Canada as if it makes a difference.
It's how come we forgive you for your weirdness.
I don't know. We're just trying to be.
Don't ask me. Ask the chat. Say, they're
The
the
chat
reason.
can say whatever they want.
They do. We also have Chris Brawley of Bleeding Fool.
Hello.
Hello. Hey, Mo.
I knew that would trigger some of our classic comedians in the house.
That's right.
Glad to be here. Hump day. Big news
It's
this
effective.
morning. I'm very happy. I'm in a good mood.
Good. Glad to hear it. We also have Mr. Scribelight joining us, a rare treat. How you doing?
Doing all right. It's it is Wednesday, and
It's hump day all day.
suffering heat wave over here, so it's a
Oh.
little uncomfortable, but survival. Yay, summer.
Yeah, it's a little warm here. Not that bad, though. I can't complain. It rained
It's
almost.
Beauty here.
Mm-hmm. As it always is in Canada.
And we also, of course, have the boss man who has been busy all morning
Rowing.
indeed.
rowing. That's how
Easy.
Norway has won. That's correct.
Yes.
If
Andre's
only
rowing.
we could be so united in other things like protecting the nation, but hey, you can't have everything.
How do you say stroke in Norwegian?
This depends entirely on context. You do not have like one word that fits all. So
Oh, okay.
you'd have to
Us
to
lazy-ass
separate
Americans.
into context. Yeah.
So what do you guys holler when you're doing the whole
Ro.
row? Just row.
Ro.
Okay.
Ro.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought it was something like Eskimos have 17 words for snow, Norwegians have 17 words for row.
Yeah, no, that is something you need to keep really, really simple in order to
Oh.
follow instructions and get from A to B really, really fast.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
We do have a bunch of different words for snow. Maybe not 17, but we do have a few descriptive
I'm
terms
sure you
for
have
it.
a few.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. You need to know, like basically how to prepare your skis because the snow changes depending on the temperature. This is
Wax on,
this
wax
is a
off.
thing. Correct. It's not just wax on, wax off. It's wax blue, wax red, wax yellow, all depending on the temperature.
I love the Norwegian documentaries that is talked about Thor skiing to school every day.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a
Especially
good
on
one.
Thor's Day.
Mm.
Right, or whatever. Is Andre a common Norwegian name?
No, it is not. You have a few people who are called it, but let's just say I did not grow up being called Andre in Norway unpunished, and I was quite
Oh.
resentful at my parents for a few years there, for like, how could you give me such a stupid foreign name? So yeah,
There's a couple of countries where you're only allowed to pick a first name from a list of government-approved lists.
yeah. Most Muslim countries are like that. Like there's like a strict list of like these are the approved names from the Quran that you can be called. Can't deviate too much from this. But I shouldn't be complaining. I mean, because my name, it is international.
It is,
and
yeah.
You have a few Norwegians, like for instance, Seaman. That's a relatively common Norwegian name. Sucks a little bit the moment you travel abroad, but it's a thing. So yeah.
What's
Another
what's
thing
No,
a,
it
that's
what's,
swallows. It doesn't suck.
unpronounceable.
what's a common?
Ugh.
What's the most common first name, male and female, in Norway?
Well, I don't, you'd have to check with most common in Oslo right now, Mohammed. Because
Oh,
but beyond
Not
that,
good.
I mean, like names like Espen is common as dirt. Espen, Anders.
Jan?
Espen?
Jan is fairly common, yeah. Like for instance, in my group of friends, there's 3 people we call by their surname because they're all called Espen as their first name.
Hmm.
And Thomas is
Yeah.
also common as
Is it?
dirt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thomas. Oh.
I was gonna say, what's
Yes.
the common name for like Steve and Mike over there? Those are pretty common besides John for our generation.
Espen, Paul,
Uh,
Erik, Eirik.
Eric is a lot like Eric. Yeah, we don't
Yeah.
have too many Erics anymore. We used to, but it's not a very common name anymore. But all right, well, let's get into some actual business because we got some big news to talk about, and I'm sure that we only have Scribe for a limited time because he has an expiration date as usual. I'm sure.
Yes.
We got a new member, Peter. Thank you for becoming a member. Hopefully, I said your
Yeah.
name right, or is it Peter D?
Peter D.
Peter D or Petered?
And we don't want to see your member.
No,
That's just one
we
of the
don't need to
rules
see
here.
member. Paul is always showing me his member, and I keep telling him I don't need to see it.
Someone has to enjoy it.
Well, you keep asking me what these weird boils and other things are, and it's like it's called growing up and getting old, Paul. I don't know.
It's not. It's the fact that I've got a catheter and I put a chip clip on the end of my dick, and it just makes for a very interesting profile in my underwear. I mean, it just
Yeah.
looks
He
weird.
likes to
I
make
get it.
jokes with it. Okay, I'll admit it. It's kind of funny. But Hyperguyver 2 says
Old man
Gen-
humor.
Gendy doing Conan is perfect. There's literally nobody that is better suited for this project, especially after Primal and Sulky out of the way. Yeah, I can agree with that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
does
absolutely.
the intro to one of the topics.
It's one of
Yeah.
the few times we've gotten some good news. I mean, I think I was kind of getting worried for Andres. You know, he doesn't show it like I do, but I mean, He-Man, that hit him pretty hard.
I suffer on the inside.
Yeah, he suffers on the inside, makes me suffer on the outside. Stone Gassman says, seeing Jackass before sneaking into Supergirl. Well, there you
Well,
go.
that's one way to do it.
Is Jackass come out this week? It might actually beat Supergirl. Who knows? After
It could.
Yeah.
reactions, I don't know.
Wow.
Pack and
That'd be
Proton says,
something.
this is just in. NYC is screwed. Oh, now what happened?
Oh, the election.
Oh,
taking place
this
on yesterday.
another America hating woman has
Yeah.
been added to Mamdani's group of
Retinue.
supervillains.
Well, you know what? Good. I mean, people need to learn. I mean, it's sometimes it needs to get worse before it can get any better. And these people keep voting for these crazies.
I posted on X. Escape from New York has suddenly become a documentary, and
Yeah.
people like that. You know what? It's one of those things. We'll see over time what happens. Mamdani, in his weird way, is a little less radical than the Marxist women who are mayors of their own specific large cities in their states. So
Yeah, people don't give women enough credit or enough flack, depending on how you look at it. But even in 1984, by the great George Orwell, the point is made: it's always the women. Women are the most extreme. They're the most rabid followers, and they basically tag the men along. I mean, just look at, for instance, Islamic State. Where would they be without the IS brides? Or IS horses, I like to call them. But anyway, yeah. So it's the women.
well, as I say, men are stupid, women are crazy.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
can't have one without the other. So
No, that's kind of the way life goes.
I think women respond more emotionally. So you'll see
Yeah.
female judges be a lot more lenient on criminals and presume that that's a way to rehab the criminals. Whereas men, and it's not monolithic, obviously.
This depends tremendously on the crime in question, though. I mean, for instance, if you're
Sure.
like in family court and you're might not be so much leniency for the husband there, let's say.
No, I agree with you, but I think men are a lot more pragmatic and just reasoned. So it's not that we want to put the criminals in jail to rehabilitate them. We just want them off the streets. That's it.
Yeah.
Go to jail.
Yeah, if one were to put things to the extreme and to the most stereotypical, yeah, of course there's some women who are quite pragmatic as well. But if one were to just average things out to make a point, yeah, agree with that.
Yeah.
But let's move on here. I think we
Yeah,
have some
move on.
other super chats before we can get into the main news.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got Stygian.
Stygian.
I can't talk.
Stygian dogs.
Stygian dogs. I knew what I was
Awesome.
trying to say. A hell of
Yeah.
a time to be a Conan fan. Any King Conan movie news pales in comparison. This will raise the Sumerians' popularity to greater heights. And
I
Kram
agree. I
doesn't
hope
give
so.
a shit.
Yeah. Honestly, you know what? This project right here that's coming now, this is the kind of thing that creates new fans.
Yes.
This is the kind of
Possibly.
thing that He-Man should have had.
Mm.
Well, that actually had in the 2002 series. that they
Imagine
canceled
that. If you take
prematurely.
some sincerity and earnestness to it and you get the right people behind it, guess what happens?
Well, this
Yeah,
is,
I
this
mean,
is the
yeah,
combination
like-
you've.
Well, we're predicting that it will be, but look, we've got enough Chindy stuff to know. Like, look, I've said it time and time again. I still have copies of those Clone Wars cartoons because they kick ass.
Yes.
I've been wanting to see Primal for years.
Primal is amazing.
Season
I
3.
just
Yeah.
haven't sat down and got a chance to check it out yet. I'm not a big fan of some of his other stuff.
Yeah.
But I'd never really watched it, so I can't say if I liked it or not. I just knew looking at Powerpuff Girls, like, that's not going to be for me. My kid watched some Dexter's Laboratory growing up, so I have some familiarity with that. And see, that show had a lot of pedigree behind it, too, because didn't a lot of people who used to work on The Simpsons jump ship from The Simpsons to that and some other stuff like that? So, like, I know a few things about that stuff. So, like, this guy has been around for a while, and he's one of the type of people that I keep saying that Hollywood should be utilizing more.
Mm.
And I never knew he turned down George Lucas until we did our video. That was news
Yeah,
to me.
that was fun coincidence that we did
Fun
that
coincidence,
video.
my ass. Andre knew exactly what he's fucking doing.
Yeah. As soon as this came out this morning, I was like, it's awfully convenient that he
See,
just
Andre's
had a
good at
video
this
on
shit.
this.
I'm gonna find out that I'm in the middle of an intervention or something like that about 2/3 of the way in and be like, motherfucker trapped me.
Into a
Because he's
video.
good at this shit.
Yeah.
So for those who just like, why is he talking about Jenny Tartakovsky? Because I didn't think nothing of it because I'm like, oh, he must have found this story, blah, 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 blah.
Jindy's perfect for this, though. He respects the lore. He's very creative. He's not, mainstream isn't the right word, but he has a signature style. So he's going to bring
has a
something
vision.
to this. And I
Yeah.
think that you're right, Andre. It's going to introduce new fans to Conan. I don't think an old Arnold Schwarzenegger would do for Conan what this will. However, the timing might be really good. I think, what is this going to be, 2028, you think, before we actually see it?
No, honestly, I don't know. What I know is that this thing has been in development for. I'd have to go and check my old messages and stuff, but this thing, it has been in development for at least a year and a half.
Okay.
Now, it only recently got the green light. But
Yeah, well, he pitched it
scripting,
back in
story,
08.
stuff like that, they've been
Yeah.
working on this for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you've been sitting on this for a while. I know.
Yeah, well,
that.
I know he
I
pitched
have.
it almost 20 years ago, 18 years ago or so. So
Yeah, a version of this was pitched in 2008.
Mhm.
But the version that got announced right now, they've been working on for the better part of 2 years.
And this is the
already.
best
Pre-production.
combination of things that we've all been wanting. I mean, you want someone who loves the source material and is a good storyteller.
Mhm.
That's really all
Yep.
anybody who is a fan of these things wants, whether it's Star Wars or Marvel or anything else. Or, like in the case of, say, Star Trek 2, the director makes himself a fan of the material while also being a talented storyteller to tell the story that the fans want to see. So I'm over the moon on this because animation is timeless.
Yep.
His record on, like you say, cinematic and heroic storytelling, visual storytelling, is so great. And that's the thing about trying to translate authors' words into a visual medium. If you don't know how to say a lot without using dialogue, something's lost. Something is sort of made cheaper with too much exposition. And so between the world of Conan and Tartakovsky's skill at visual storytelling, I couldn't be happier as a fan. So.
I know you guys surely it's about 10 years older now, but Jindy had made a test 3D animation of Popeye.
Correct.
Yes.
And it just looked spectacular. So the guy is a master of his craft. I think this is a big win. I know as a longtime Conan fan, I've been very pleased with how Titan has handled things with Heroic. I think they just this month they finally got around to soliciting volume 12 of their Savage Sword of Conan omnibus. They've done the full Marvel comics version. They've done the King Conan. They finished that out. That was 3 volumes. So it's a great time to be a Conan fan. This is good news. We will have to wait. I just looked back at the article that we posted about it on bleedingfool.com. He's expecting rough animations to be ready in 28. So that's not, so it might be 2029. So we may be quite premature, but it is great that it is confirmed.
Well, hopefully he was like, I haven't seen that video myself. I honestly do not know the time perspective. I would sincerely hope, considering that we are in 2026 now, that it would be less than 3 years before they have season 1 ready. I would I understand if we're not getting this until 2028, but I would sincerely hope we're getting it in 2027 or something, because a lot of the script work is done. It's the animation and the actual production that remains. And I
think
really
I think he's looking at
take 3 years.
I agree, but what he said was animatics by next year and then rough animations the following year.
I just like to take.
Carry on.
I just want to take a minute and, as far as I'm concerned, I'm sure somebody can back me up on this. The unsung hero of this entire thing is Frederick Malmberg for being the keeper of the keys and making sure that when projects are greenlit or go ahead or move on,
and patient,
that they actually benefit not only the character but are respectful to the IP and to the fans all at the same time. Yeah. Because I mean, just the little bits and pieces I've gotten on the periphery, there's a lot of things he's either turned down or projects that didn't move forward because they didn't feel right. And hey, thank goodness there's somebody at the wheel that knows what they're doing.
The money.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing is just, I think might have been already pointed out, I love the irony that it's going to be provided through Prime Video, Amazon, who denied the existence of a Conan TV series just several years ago. I love the fact that it's going to be taking advantage of Amazon without actually Amazon making it. That just feels right for some reason.
Well, it is. There's a lot of ironies going on because this is, like you just said, with the whole Amazon thing, the guys that were supposed to make that, Ryan Condell, and who's the other guy? Andre, remind me.
I forgot the name right now.
Yeah, but
he was the one who was supposed to direct the King Conan movie as well.
Yeah, and those guys went on to do the new Game of Thrones series over on HBO
House of the Dragon. Yeah.
So that was kind of ironic there, however you want to put it. And then you have this situation here where that happened, and then Amazon and I agree with you, Scribe. Like, Frederick deserves a lot of appreciation for how he has handled the franchise, because it doesn't matter what he believes, he has made sure that he has stayed true to Conan, right? And he didn't just take a random check just because, people were offering X amount of money to do some Conan show or movie.
Dude, he's risked his life, not his life, but he's risked his home, his neck, his personal economics to keep Conan alive. And I'll give you another example here, because in the video we published earlier today, I invite you all to see it. There's an interview with Genndy Tartakovsky that he did with another podcast. The full link for that is in the description. I had to cut it a little bit for time. But one thing he says there, he talks about how he discovered Conan. He discovered Conan through the comics. The comics and the movie, those were the things that influenced his entire style. And then he only discovered the books later on. And they changed everything for him. because they massively changed everything with how he approached storytelling from that point onwards. Those books he read only exist because of Fredrik Malmberg. That was one of the first things that he did, was to put all of the original unedited stories for the first time ever back in publication. Those were the books that Gandhi read that really formed him and even influenced the return of that Samurai Jack or whatever it's called. I haven't really seen that. But we also have Paulie joining us behind the scenes here. Hey, Paulie.
Oh yeah, everyone's looking so sexy. Let's keep the talk going. Yeah.
Looking good there. Oh, I mean, Scribe, he has got you beat for hat there.
Uh-oh.
Nah, I always appreciate the effort, and then Cheto just looking so backlit drama, like en serio, cálmate, güey. Is he frozen?
No,
he's
he's
fucking
just
with you.
serious.
No, he's just
Oh.
ice hearted. That's all.
Who, me?
Yeah, I
just
say Cheto. I was
contemplating.
talking to you, Cheto.
I'm just waiting for you to say something interesting. I could be here all day.
Oh, I did, but it was in Spanish.
Delicious.
Yeah,
Delicious.
yeah. Who says men are emotional?
Well, who says the aren't would be more like it? I mean, just look at the football championship. So, yeah.
We had, yeah. Anyways, yeah. And I'm good, guys. Hope you guys are good.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. So yeah, but we
got some more super chats.
Yeah, and we kind of started discussing the news right away.
Yeah, but as everybody's celebrating Glade Ribbon, finally some good Conan news. Exactly. Drew Tipton says, Tom, could you explain the perpetual music licenses in movies? I swear it's not a roundabout way of getting you to mention Michael Oops. Well, it used to be a hell of a lot more complicated, Drew, but now only 3 companies own all the music, which really have made it easy for them to have to be able to clear a lot of this crap up, which is why we finally have gotten things like Wonder Years and WKRP on disc and in streaming, because now these rights are a lot more conglomerated, which is basically what's going to happen to the movie studios. I've been warning people about this for a while. This is not a good thing. But yeah, it used to be very difficult because you had tons of different people who own tons of different licenses. And then you would sometimes have somebody be like, no, I don't want to give the rights up. So especially if you had more than one person have to sign over rights, or they'd ask for some astronomical amount, or people sometimes would just be difficult to get a hold of, notoriously, like Led Zeppelin, or impossible, like the Beatles. Michael actually and the Jacksons are actually somebody who has been very accessible for years, and surprisingly people haven't used them more. Jackson 5 especially have been used a lot. But now, see, this funny thing is the company that the Jacksons went to from Motown owns Motown now. They're all owned by the same company. They're all owned by Sony. See, so like that's the thing. Sony, BMG, Warner Music, and Universal are the only 3 companies left. They're all owned by movie studios, so it doesn't matter anymore. And they're all pretty good at shaking
Bertelsmann
each other's
Music
hand.
Group.
Right.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know if you have anything to add to that, Paul, since you know a little bit about it too. It seems like, but
Me, very, very little. I do know about the Universal warehouse burning down.
oh yeah, that was a big deal we covered years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
You do want perpetual, because otherwise you're going to be like Supernatural, having to replace old songs from your TV show when you
Right.
go to DVD or streaming. You
Yep.
just want perpetual, and you want it on every known and unknown platform, delivery, media possible.
And the contracts usually include Beyond the Earth.
That's right. In the
Weird.
known and unknown universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just
No.
in case.
Well, we ran into that when I was working at CBC, because I thought, oh, QuickTime had just come out. Apple gave me a demo of it, and I thought, I mean, now it was only 1 inch by 1 inch coming off a hard drive, but I went, oh my God, this is the future. We need to digitize all our properties so we can make that available, because it really was magical at the time. Now we're doing this. Okay, this is insane. Technically, what we're doing.
Right.
Several orders of magnitude of insanity that we take for granted. But at the time, that was such a revolution. I went to my master's at CBC and I said, hey, we should get Wojak and Beachcombers and all these old classic shows and put them to hard drive, and so then we can make it available, distributed. And it turned out that the contracts, the way they were written back then, did not include obviously this kind of digital format, and and the way they were written, the entire cost of the entire cast would have had to been paid in the original amounts, not even a fraction of the amounts, 100%. So it would be, the below the line costs would be exactly the same as what they were back in the day. And I went, well, who can afford that? So I went to our union and I said, hey, why don't we, make a deal, find a way to get some money to all the actors. And they went, nope, that's the way the contracts are. Got to pay it out 100%. And then I said, none of these are going to go make it to the air ever again. Nope, sorry. This is the way the contracts are.
Per Ricks.
This is, that's so stupid.
Yeah.
Let's get some money out to people who could probably use it. But nope.
That was the era, and it's those kinds of situations that immediately people started future-proofing their media agreements.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up, because that's kind of how it used to be, and that's why there was such a problem for so long.
Yep.
And now they've been able to get ahead of that with so many things. But
well, I think they've changed their minds now, but at the time,
well, they didn't have a choice, because the same companies bought up all the fucking music. But yeah,
you can't fire me. I'm part of the union.
Well, that part true, but yes. But no, as far as like the music goes, like that's how they made that go away. Was they just bought all the three companies, the movie companies, bought all the music. So then they don't have to deal with any of that shit anymore, basically. Because before that, like it was that kind of a problem, and that pretty much explains everything you needed to know there, Drew. I think I don't think there's anything we missed. Grimzilla says, Giddy Conan, good sign, but we've been burned too many times to not be cautiously optimistic. If not becoming Conan the simp, please be good. Look, after seeing that clip that Andre had discussed earlier, I have complete faith in Jendi. If he fucks this up, I just don't understand how he could.
I'd be shocked. Yeah,
I'd be completely fucking shocked.
There's way too many people that are protective of the Robert E. Howard legacy.
Well, this is one reason why, I've said that all these properties need a good manager, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's the main reason, is so you have somebody, if not one or two people, who can kind of go, no, we're not going to do that.
Right.
And they're not about, just getting something done just so we have something
going
on.
And who care about its legacy, right? Not like Ian Fleming's granddaughter who says, whatever,
Yeah.
Or Warner Brothers by putting out fucking Supergirl. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no. And to that point, this one has two protectors. It has Gandhi himself, who, if you catch the video from today, not only is he like making PR statements right now, which so did Kevin Smith, but dude, this has interviews from years ago about how much he loves Conan, what kind of influence this was on him. He's gone on record for this for years. And he made his first direct Conan project with in the guise of Korgot of Barbaria, which was pretty darn amazing. And that's more than 20 years ago. So this guy is legit. And then of course it's Fred. And the only reason any of this is happening, that there's any kind of resurgence of Conan at all, is because of Fred Malmberg. It's his brand management is behind all of it. Wouldn't have been any Conan to speak of, certainly not any good, the past 20 years without what he was doing.
Yeah, and if it's done right, and fingers crossed, knock for Micah, it's done right. Conan stories are timeless. They don't speak about a particular era. They don't have any commentary about anything. They're just timeless tales. And if you want to read between the lines of a cookbook and go like, oh, well, look at all of the strong women in there. Obviously, it's been taken over by woke shills. And no, Conan stories always had, or almost always had, some very strong female characters who could stand on their own 2 feet. And this is from stories back in the 1930s. It's got nothing to do with that. And it just, I'm really excited for this. But like somebody in the chat said, I don't want to be Stargated. I don't want the rug to be pulled a year from now.
Hopefully it won't be, but healthy caution is always good.
Yes. So fingers crossed.
Myths and monsters.
Yeah.
Of heroes and villains, only one man stands for humanity. Conan the Barbarian.
No.
That's how you
I thought it
got
was
started.
good.
Just boom.
There you go.
Men and monsters.
I want to hear about the lamentations of their women. That's how it needs to open.
The lamentations of the women.
The lamentations, yes.
Don't kill our husbands. No. See, they just whine and cry. No, I don't want to come with you. No.
It needs
Stop your
to be.
whining.
It has to be infused with a certain amount of toxic masculinity, for sure.
Well,
That's a
I mean,
requirement.
it's see, I hate that term because, like, I wouldn't say that Conan is necessarily a toxic male, or that the genre itself or the stories themselves are necessarily inherently toxic. They're just kind of going off of my little joke there or whatever I was doing. They're about the dawn of time, right? Like, they're about the dawn of man and myth and legend, right? Like, they come from a time where there is no luxuries, right? Where, you know, there's no real reason for Conan to be any other way because he has to fight these creatures and demons and villains constantly. And yeah, there's going to be women in distress, you know, or they're going to be tricking him and other things, like, because they're witches. I mean, yes, there's going to be several kinds of women in this era, and they're just going to be treated the same way that they've been probably treated at the time, you know, if it was real.
No,
So-
there's no such thing as, okay, first off, in a little soapbox here, there's no such thing as toxic masculinity.
Embrace
There's-
your toxic
that's what I'm
masculinity,
getting at,
man.
yeah.
No.
Embrace
There are behaviors in people that are undesirable in a civilized society. But then what Conan is the collision of savagery and civilization in the first place. That's part of the character.
At the dawn
So-
of it, yeah.
Yeah, well, at the dawn of it, or whatever else.
You
No,
wanna call it,
this
yeah.
is these are stories about heroism and honor and violence and brutality and the way the world actually works in a place where civilization hasn't completely taken over and people's morals and sense of what is right and wrong are still trying to shape themselves out after a fashion. So,
I get all that, but still, he's a thief. He's a barbarian. He's a king. At one time, he's brutal. He doesn't mess around. He's all about getting paid. We did, and I use toxic masculinity, ironically, because at Bleeding Full we review movies every Tuesday called Toxic Masculinity Tuesday. We just reviewed Citizen Vigilante, and it's
Yes.
about embracing the masculinity of some of these projects and stuff in the face of being called toxic, because there's a certain that's what appeals. There's been a lost art cinematically.
Similarly, I'm on a show periodically if I'm interested in the film with Nick Weiser, where it is called Toxic Tuesday, where we literally go over like men's type films, and we go over kind of like through a more modern lens and a lot of gay humor.
No way.
About all this kind of same stuff. And yeah, so I mean, there's a market for this. Like, it doesn't have to be what they would consider quote unquote toxic masculinity. That to me is just a made up bunch of bullshit. Because like you just said, it's either cluster B personality type stuff, as Andres pointed out before, or it's just men being men, which at my point I'm going like, what's wrong with that? Because we're allowed to let men be women now. Why can't men just be fucking men?
Andre, I gotta leave pretty quick, but I wanted to nerd out real quick with you about something.
Yeah,
sure. I would love it. Now you tell me if this would be a good idea. And I know they can't do it because in the story they effectively get killed immediately. But wouldn't it be nice if we could have like a side animated series of Balthus and Slayer going around having adventures?
There's many.
You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah. There's many side characters that you could do that.
Oh,
with.
I know. I just wish they hadn't been killed off in their first appearance, though, because those two pairing up and having adventures as, man and his beast would be just great. But man,
well,
because just for reference, I'm talking about the story Beyond the Black River, and a couple of characters show up. You have Balthus, who's like a scout archer for one of the opposing militaries, and then this.
I believe they did develop them further in the comics.
I could believe it, but in the stories themselves, as far as I understand it, they and then Slayer is this sort of beast hound that is sort of adopted by Balthus for the sake of this story, and they kind of briefly have a partnership. And I always wanted them to go off and be like a boy and his dog have adventures in the Conan world. But I just meant like that'd be a great animated side thing, like if you had like a little shorts.
It would
of
be, and there are
Balthus
many
Slayer.
other things that could be as well. But
Yeah.
you can hope. I wouldn't perhaps bet on it, but hey, in the age of AI and fan fiction,
Yeah, true. Fingers crossed. Anyway, I got to split, guys. Back to the wonderful world of work, but I'm really excited about
Subscribe.
Conan. Whether it's a year from now, 2 years from now, looking forward to it. And elsewise, hope everybody's keeping cool if you're in a place where it's hot, and keeping warm if you're in a place where it's cold, I guess. And if you're not already, be sure to subscribe to Midnight's Edge and Latino Slant and Paul Chato and Chris Brawley over Bleeding Fool. If you decide to subscribe to me as well, that's fine. But more
do
more
that. The link is for Scribe Light is in the description, as for all the others here.
Have a good week, guys, and I'll see you later.
See you, Scrab.
Take care.
Take care.
The one thing that, I mean, it's not that we have to talk about it, but Conan was of its time.
Yeah.
When it was written, men thought differently. Men were kind of left alone to their own devices. They certainly, there were people who had no idea that they might be writing something that would be offensive to a certain group of people at that time, or perhaps in the future.
And if they knew, they'd be happy about it.
Probably. But the point is, it was of its time, the same way Tarzan was of its time. It's kind of an uncomfortable story. We can point to other stories that, have, a jaundiced view, a perspective that came from
the Phantom,
the time.
King of the Black People in the Jungle.
Right. Well, look at Tintin and the stuff he did with the natives and the Africans and the Arabs. I mean, these are all
that only happened that one time.
They're correct.
Yeah.
and to be quite frank, I didn't read those volumes to my kids.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I couldn't because those volumes weren't even released in my part of the world until much, much later as like specials for adult collectors.
Right, because they were afraid of Norwegian sensibilities might be hurt, which I can understand.
We had
you are
by the time it was
you are a gentle people, easily offended. I know that.
We've become that, but yeah.
So my point is, I don't think Conan would be invented now. It requires a certain, I hate the word misogyny, but maybe unintended misogyny.
How about traditional masculinity? That is what is required.
Sure.
And that is what those stories, and not just those stories, but the stories from that time were oozing of. Because I'm a big fan of the stories from that particular time.
Look at the two crime magazines, the pulp fiction.
Exactly, the whole pulp era. You have the same thing. The Zorro stories is the same basic thing. Because right there, you have the transition from the from the classical world into the modern world. It was the transition between steam and electricity. All of these things, it happened all at the same time.
Right.
I mean, these stories were the results of it. So this is where you basically had the old tough men that grew up in historical times, and then I mean like prehistory from our point of view.
Sure.
Dealing with a modern world. And that's kind of like what is the theme in all of those stories.
But you had progenitors such as the Man in the Iron Mask. That's a revenge story.
Absolutely.
So, and which is a brilliant revenge story. So, so I'm just saying that, it's interesting talking about Conan and making sure that we maintain, whatever it was that made it interesting back in the day. But I lament the fact that I don't think he could be invented now. No. And I mean that as a lament. That's really my point.
That is your lamentation, sir.
That is my lamentation.
I agree with what you're saying. I say toxic. I mean traditional. Just grit. These are stories set in that period after the sinking of Atlantis.
Correct.
It's basically a sword wielding, sandal wearing barbarian that runs into the creatures straight out of an H.P. Lovecraft book, right? It's H.P. Lovecraft meets a barbarian, and you're just supposed to have fun, thrilling, fear, and cheer along with him when he's drinking ale
Sure.
and he's thrown a winch over his shoulder and she's laughing about it. You know, let's go. The night is young, right? So that's really all this is about. There doesn't need to be any messaging. I certainly hope there won't be. And right now, I'm going to give Jindy the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, well, we're living in a time of hyper awareness, and I'm tired of it. I am really tired of the hyper awareness.
Indeed.
My wife would like me to be more aware, but that's a different issue.
Well, we can't have everything, can we?
No.
No, but let's see what you guys are discussing out there, because I'm sure most of it has to do with Conan, and we'll get back to that. Accident Seller says Norway's famous fictional detective Harry Hole. Yes.
Yeah. These
You've brought him up before.
Indeed. Hole. This is not an unusual Norwegian name. Harry. Just like the thing, of course, when you have those two names, it gives a different vibe in English.
Yes.
But Harry, yeah, you have some people who are called that, like have like very American sounding names, like Harry, Billy, these kind of names. Whenever you have someone with a name like this in Norway, it means that their parents were basically low-class trash who thought it would sound really, really cool for their kids to have an American sounding name. That's, yeah. So you can totally tell where they're coming from socio-economically with a name like Harry. That means that this is a detective who is from the gutter himself.
Ah, those damn herring eaters.
Yeah.
All right. And then S. Munstad has been here for 46 freaking months. Holy crap.
Go
Yeah.
That's a
home.
long time. Yeah.
Stian, that's another relatively normal Norwegian name.
Yeah. Mo Sislak is here and says, women are crazy, men are stupid, says Paul Chato. I know
Yes.
what I'm putting on my tombstone now. By the way, YouTube wouldn't let either of the actual words. We don't need government to regulate speech in the US. Google takes care of it. Yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. I believe that this is part of the definition of Italian fascism, Mussolini style, when you have private enterprise doing the enforcement on behalf of the government. Just saying.
Well,
yeah.
I do like the fact that it forces people to be more creative. In their response. YouTube X does not like a certain reference to people who engage with their cousins. So I've start referring to them as cousin fanciers, which is way more fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And some people can't really argue with that, no, can they?
No.
Not when
Words
you have
are
culture
good.
celebrating it.
A lot of cousin loving going on, let's say.
There you go.
Nick is in the house. How you doing, Nick? Speaking of the devil himself. Yesterday's Jendi video was foreshadowing the news that followed. This is going to be huge, as he says.
Yeah.
Man.
Indeed.
It was foreshadowing. I mean, I'm sure I would have liked to see Tom's face. Well, actually, probably not, because you were halfway asleep at the time, and probably didn't connect the dots until way, way later. Yeah,
No, it was more like an eye roll of like, oh, of course, duh. Now it makes sense. That's kind of what it was. Really.
It was a good video.
Yeah.
And then Pack of Proton says, sent Tom my version of Conan, Barbarian Man, Warrior of Time. I'd love to develop it, but it needs a writer. Well, we know a few of those. There you go.
Even a couple of writers that wrote Conan,
Yeah.
Chuck Dixon and Mike Barron.
Yeah. Flying Blind on a Rocket Cycle wishes us a good day. Well, good day to you. Gribzilla says, really need to see teaser or trailer. Well, yeah. I mean, we're speculating, but I mean, unless there's some astronomical disaster between now and then.
Yeah.
Knock on wood.
Well, you already, but basically, if you look at Primal, I think that's a fairly decent indication of what it's going to look like.
And that
Not
Conan
exactly
parody too.
like that. Yeah, probably more. Probably it's.
Well,
gonna
I mean,
look
as far
more
as like you can tell that he has a thing for it, is what I mean.
Yes, absolutely.
You talk about
But that
Korgoth?
teaser image, yeah, Korgoth, yeah. But that teaser image, that's legit. That's what it's going to look like.
Yeah. That looks like Jindy's.
Yeah,
So-
his primal just looks fantastic though. You really should look at some of the trailers for primal.
Anyway, Paul, you were about to say, Paulie.
Where is this on a pre-production phase?
That's the question, actually.
Do we have any of that info?
Andre has a little more insight to that than
As
what was it,
far as
Deadline or
I
Variety,
under-
whoever did this one.
Yeah, as far as I understand, I'm not going to sit and say that all the scripts are written and stuff like that, but they basically have, my understandings that they have an entire run, multi-season run planned out with what stories they're going to adapt. And then probably the scripts are more and more solid the closer you get. I'd be surprised if they didn't have scripts for at least half the first season by now already. The big job is the actual animation. That job, if it even has started, is still in the very, very early stages, because it's not been too long since this thing got the green light. Like, it's been real for only so long, but development does go back quite some while. So story and script wise, a lot is done.
Great. Okay, so it's still going to be a couple of years until we
It's
see.
still going to be a couple of years.
We get a season.
Yes.
Yeah, my only 2 cents is in regards to Conan, the masculinity, all that stuff, is don't be apologetic. Just go full throttle.
Mhm.
You got to go full throttle.
And also for those,
and wherever we're at as a society, we'll be fine. You know, some people will get offended early on, but you break the seal and you have a kick-ass show, you're gonna get some new fans. You know?
absolutely.
And that's one of
And
those.
and for those who are inevitably going to complain, oh, there's a girl boss or something. No. Baelot is not the girl boss. Go and read the original story, Queen of the Black Coast, or indeed some of the comics based on it, for there are many. This is one of the prototypes on the really badass female. This was Wonder Woman without superpower before Wonder Woman was Wonder Woman. So this is one of the OGs, and it's perfectly fine. But I know some people who are gun shy is going to be like, she's too badass. She was always that way, even in the original stories from the 1930s.
Yeah, her and her pirates, I think, actually captured Conan at the beginning.
Yeah, we'll see what they do with that.
Yeah,
But of course, plenty of people have captured Conan over the years.
well, sure. Yeah.
And Detailed Devil says for the £1.99 or $1.99, may the 4th be with you. 79th in Og. US needs Maggie Thatcher. I don't know how I'm supposed to say the 79th in Og, but I think plenty places could use a Maggie Thatcher right about now. The UK for one, maybe New York, but yeah. And then moving on from there, Mo Sislak says there is nothing inherently toxic about masculinity. It's about the choices we make. I thought Citizen Vigilante made that clear. Yeah, and I'm glad to see that movie is going viral and it's getting lots of attention and lots of writes up, which is exactly what is needed.
Yep. Father's Day just happened, right?
Yes.
And this conversation came up at a church sermon that I follow and attend, and an amazing, like almost an hour-long talk that the pastor did on toxic masculinity. The way he broke it down, it almost sounded like how we've been talking the last couple of years in 50 minutes. And no one's talked in the world out there. We do, but no one talks about toxic femininity, toxic homosexuality, how toxic. Just because you're homosexual or whatever you are, anyone can be a son of a bitch, right? And so what he says here is absolutely right. It's about the choices we make. It's how we behave.
Yeah.
It's just in vogue. It's easy. it's easy to put down men right now and ignore the facts that 98% of the world is run on infrastructure by men. You you don't see equality being fought with the cable guys up there on the poles there trying to move cables and do work. You don't see that equality being fought on the cement mixers, et cetera, et cetera. I could go on, but I'm just that's just facts,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
those are easy. Those people are easy to attack because they're strong silent type. They're going to do their work. They're not in trouble. They don't do they work. They provide for their families. They're protectors. Hey, that's an easy. I guess that's a piñata, right? That's easy to strike at.
However,
You
I
have
have
to
seen.
not be silent about this. I'm done. I'm done.
I was just gonna say, one caveat is I did see one cable installer saying, this family watches Fox. I'm not installing the cable. So
That probably has happened. That's
I mean, you know what? I'm probably no. You know
Yeah.
what? None of these worky people care about that stuff. They just want to move on to the next cable installation.
But we
All
should
these-
praise them. We should praise them. We shouldn't
I
be
agree.
silent. Yeah, and
The
I'm not saying you. I'm
infrastructure.
just saying because they're easy targets. Oh well, he's never
Yeah.
home and he's a strong silent type.
Mhm.
Motherfucker's working, paying the bills.
Yep.
That's a majority of men.
Yeah.
Chef
Being
Eddie-
their roles. I mean, you got. Well, I said this last week. Look, Andre's a great father. We have to celebrate that. I'm not so sure about Chato. I'm hearing.
Well, his
How-
kid turned out all right, I guess. From what
Yeah.
Right.
But we got Chef Eddie. Speaking of roles, I'm sure he's made a few in his lifetime. Conan was an anachronism. Sorry, not an anchor. An anachronism in his own time. Howard was arguing barbarian versus civilization. Exactly. That's kind of what was pointed out earlier, and he probably sent this in before.
That's why his stories are extra timeless beyond many of the others. That's what makes them timeless.
They come from a time where civilization was just a baby. Grimzilla says all Conan's women were more than happy. Yeah.
Well,
Yes,
and one of the other
and that's-
problems too is we've gotten to the point where when Conan came out, which was quite a long time ago, the
1920s.
audience for it still had a notion of what it was referencing from a mythos perspective. Right now, if you brought up Conan, people have no interest in history. Like I've never seen a generation where their history ends at 2010, and nothing before that is of any interest whatsoever. So that's a challenge. I mean, for decades we kind of knew about stuff, even if we never studied, American history. We didn't. I mean, in Canada we did a little bit of American history, but the mythos was so. The fight at the Alamo, things like that. You would have heard of it, right? Probably through movies, things like that. Last Stand at the Alamo. But, if someone brought out Conan, they go, well, why? Why is this guy just wearing a loincloth? And he looks kind of down market. What's this from? That's a problem. Is that no one has a grasp of the references of all this stuff.
The bigger issue is even the literary references, because Howard, who wrote Conan, that this guy, he knew his literature, he knew his history, he knew his mythology.
Right.
And world mythology was baked into his stories. And that's the kind of thing that most people don't even get. It's very easy to just read those stories of surface level, big man with the sword rescue woman. But there is so much going on that people aren't giving credit to because they just don't see it. All of the layers upon layers upon layers that are in the story, and the numerous references to world mythology. So, Howard was a very
that's my
learned
point.
man. Yeah,
that's my point. Now you look at it as muscly guy with sword.
That's kind of like the irony. It's the schlocky stories that he wrote, the ones that he was like, shit, I need money now. Just gonna hurry and write some bullshit without too much, just make it real schlocky, because then I can rest assured it's going to sell.
Right.
Those are the ones that kind of set the stage for later on, less so than the more nuanced stories.
And everything we're talking about should this is not a political statement.
No.
Right, I'm telling the audience, all right?
Yeah. You're right.
Like this should not be controversial. You know what I'm saying? So again, I'm excited for Andre because of Conan, and I just hope it goes full blast. Unlike Masters was, they really neutered that He-Man. We need masculinity. Masculinity's got to make a comeback, man. Masculinity is the new black. Whatever it takes. Yeah.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
100%. And I think that the problem we've seen, whether it's, and I hate to sound sexist, but not really, is the women in gaming and the women in some of these studios are just so diametrically opposed to anything that comes off as masculine. I mean, that's why the New York Times celebrated fatherhood with a trans woman being a dad and her daughter asking, what did you look like before you had your tits cut off, Dad? Things like that.
Ooh, I didn't see that.
That was Happy Father's
Yes.
Day, right? So
I'm glad I didn't see that.
just general standard traditional masculinity is anything to bury it or destroy it is what our culture, not us obviously, but I agree with you 100%, Paulie. Just standard masculinity and do it unapologetically. You don't have to try to troll anybody, right? Like, let's see how far we can push it. You don't have to go ooey bowl so far with this, but you could just
Did I bring that up?
stories, adapt them, keep it violent, keep it
I don't know if I did.
realistic and in the legacy.
I'm sorry. I think I accidentally put up a comment. My bad.
You're producing. I got it.
No.
But I think I agree with you. I think they need to do it and do it unapologetically and just try to adapt the source material. I can see people in Amazon probably trying to push back or send notes about stuff, but hopefully
they shouldn't be. Hopefully it shouldn't be too much of that. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
But just consider that there has been some really, really good stuff at Amazon, and people have wondered, well, how did this awesome thing happen, like SEAL Team 6 or the Kill List or whatever it's called, was on Amazon.
Terminal List.
The ones we've talked about.
That's what I meant. Yeah. And how did that happen? It was made by a different production company and only distributed on Amazon.
Right.
That's what this is. This isn't made by Amazon. It's made by Cartoon Network and only distributed on Amazon. And since it's distributed on Amazon and not actually airing on Cartoon Network, as far as I know, that means that they can do pretty much whatever they want. They just use the production facilities.
So we had the executive producer a couple of years ago on my channel of Zorro.
Yeah.
That came on Amazon. I still highly recommend it. It was a panel, and he took our questions, man. He took our shots because we were like, dude, what's up with that? You did have a Mary Sue in there. It was a little cringe. He's like, come on, you got to give me, it looked good when she had 2 shotguns. I'm like, but at least he took the criticism because it was a really good take on Zorro. We need, and he did produce that outside of Amazon's bubble.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so you guys are looking for something also too. The little spiciness and macho-ness is the head of Joaquin Murrieta. It's only on. It only has one. They only did 1 season. It's on Amazon. It is awesome, and that was the prototype for Zorro.
Dude, check it. It was indeed, yeah. And then Rambam says for £10, hot take. Conan also drinks because he's obviously self-medicating to deal with his PTSD from all the horror and weirdness and life-threatening situations he routinely encounters. Now, that's a good point, but you want some real history to go into this? And this is part of the reason why in the original Howard stories, if he came out of the desert and he was dying of thirst, he didn't ask for water. He asked for wine. This is real.
That's awesome.
But there's a reason for that.
Tell me.
Because like drinking water, this is a relatively modern thing. And this is also something you would do on the countryside where you have access to running water, right?
Oh,
But in the
great.
cities, stuff like that, historically, you didn't drink water. You know why? Because water would go stale. You drink pure water, it's gonna poison you, basically. No, what you would do is you would drink beer. You would drink wine, because this is water that already was treated so it tasted better, gave you a nice buzz, and it wouldn't go stale and it wouldn't make you sick. Which is why, historically, you don't need to go back far. It's enough to go back little more than 100 years, and kids were drinking beer instead of water all over the Western world. There's like so many things from history that we don't know today, but this is part of it. This is accuracy. If you read those stories, no one ever drinks water. They drink wine, because where the stories were set, that is what you would drink instead of water, because water can kill you.
I mean, yeah, up until very recently, we're talking the 1930s and 40s. You still, medicated your ills by drinking alcohol. You know, the whole thing of alcoholism, being an alcoholic, was very new, and then much less like water for your health. Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. And that brings us through the super chats here. But before we go, we have one final story here, because Chris, you found some news here behind the scenes that I'm going to bring up on screen here right away, which I think is quite interesting. Not something that people in the DC camp are going to be too happy with, but it's nonetheless real. I'm just gonna mess with these things here, see what I can find, and
You're talking about the reviews.
I am
Yeah.
indeed. There we go. Yeah, because courtesy of Mr. Brawley, we now have the initial Rotten Tomato score for Supergirl, which is coming in at 61%, with 75 reviews in. Now, remind me, Chris, where is the border to rotten? I
I think
imagine
it's
it
at
was
60. I used to think it was 65, but I think it's at 60 now. So as soon as you
Right.
hit 60 or below, you're rotten. Not a good start.
Which means that this thing is headed for rotten territory, because if at 75 reviews, it's just barely above rotten right now.
Yeah.
Give more of them. Given the early word of mouth we already heard, this thing is headed straight for rotten territory.
Yeah, our guy saw it last night, Anthony, who's very, very positive, gives a lot of grace. 6.5 out of 10. I was like, whoa.
That sounds high.
For him, that's really bad. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
And you're seeing from Grace Randolph to what Chris has pointed out, like I think it's Variety too. They're nuking this movie. They're
The Wrap.
absolutely nuking this
And
film.
also, The Wrap gave it a bad review, calls it a mess.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Grace's review that Chris put here, I'm going to read it. Big disappointment after Gunn's excellent Superman last year, says Grace Randolph. She continues, Supergirl inexplicably throws fantastic source material in the trash in exchange for a watered-down version of Guardians of the Galaxy, The Marvels, and Mad Max. So yeah, fantastic that they went with Tom King, because I assume that when she's talking about they threw away fantastic source material, she's not referring to the Tom King run of the comics, because very few think that was fantastic.
Oh, I think she is actually implying that the Tom King stuff was fantastic. That's sort of the drumbeat that I'm hearing right now, is that they failed to adapt it properly. So I don't know.
Yeah, but we knew this.
Yeah, I just think
We saw all the signs.
Yeah, all
Mhm.
these reviews are a little bit all over the place. I did a quick comb through of Rotten Tomatoes just to sort of see what people are saying, and even the
Mhm.
positive reviews are, it's a little messy, it's a little rough around the edges, the villain's a little bit shallow. I don't
Mhm.
know.
Mhm.
4 out of 10, 5 out of 10, 2.5 out of 5.
Variety calls it so flat it's super horrendous. That's their
Yeah.
headline.
And I
Wow.
saw, and Chris Gore, he and Alan went to see it, I guess, yesterday and did an out of the theater.
Yeah.
They did, yeah.
And it just said it was terrible, just terrible.
I am slated to see it Thursday night.
Okay.
Just because I have Steph, my nerdy home, coming on Friday live with me, so we'll be ready.
I'm seeing it in a few hours, so
Oh,
Okay.
cool.
It's you know what I'm
Or not cool.
my
I don't know.
channel is not a review channel per se. I go out to see the movies that I want to see. I don't have to see any movie. This one kind of feels like homework now, and I'm regretting it, which I think is a drag. I don't want to go to see a homework movie.
Yeah.
That's not my point. I mean, I had heard some. I really wanted to see Toy Story 5 of my own, of my own volition.
I did see that yesterday, actually. I saw it with my kids.
And what your kids think.
They loved it.
Well, that was my point.
Yeah.
They loved what? Supergirl?
No, Toy Story 5.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they
yeah.
they have zero interest.
That's
in
a huge
Supergirl.
hit. Toy Story
Yeah.
5 is huge.
So I think it's too bad. And the thing is, how hard is it to make even a mediocre version of something like this? Like Superman, I didn't think was particularly good, but it was not a waste of air conditioning at the theater. I don't know. They've had this movie. They've had the script in their hands for a crap load of time. They've had this footage in their hands for a crap load of time. They've had edited versions. They've reshot, I think, some parts of it. Are you telling me nobody in the brain trust there could see that this was an uninteresting effort? Now, I haven't seen the movie. I could have a completely different opinion from everybody else's, but I hate to say it. I dread going to see this, but I kind of feel like I need to.
Well, it was kind of what Tom was saying a couple of years ago, last year. Why this movie? Why Supergirl right after Superman? So that being said, me going in, knowing all this and all the reviews, because I'm still going to go see it, my going in is going to be, can I find something, some enjoyment that's connected to Gunn's Superman? Because I did enjoy Gunn's Superman a lot, and we'll see. We'll see. I know Tom did too, so I'm curious how Tom is. What's Tom's feeling going in tonight?
Well, Grace Randolph enjoyed Superman.
Yes, she did.
One of the core problems I think with Superman for me is it was just constantly beat up Superman, beat on Superman, beat down Superman.
Sure.
And Superman doesn't save the day. And then you get this bizarre, I thought it was a fake, but apparently Supergirl confirms it was real, was that Superman's parents sent him to Earth to conquer it and start a harem and spread his seed, some sort of
This
bizarre...
did not surprise me in the slightest. If anything, I'm surprised that so many people thought that this wasn't legit. That this was some kind of a joke.
Supergirl confirmed it. Yeah, Supergirl confirms it. Yeah.
I mean, I'd be shocked if that was something they had retconned, because that's a very James.
Well, the thought was maybe Luthor had done a deep fake or something. No.
Kind
of like
that wasn't a thought. That was to cope. That was
agreed. It's like after you saw
Ross.
Empire Strikes Back, and you're like, no, Darth Vader's lying to Luke. He's not his father.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Exactly that's what I was thinking as well.
I think if you're going to make a movie like this, at least get the basic thing right. Number one, get a really good bad guy.
Yeah.
Have him do something bad, and then defeat him at the end. Then fill in the blanks between that. I didn't like this Lex Luthor in Superman. I thought he was really weak. And apparently the bad guy in this movie isn't particularly good, and I think that's a detriment to.
That's what I'm hearing too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a detriment to any kind of superhero tale, is having a unsatisfying bad guy. So just get those three
Yeah.
things right,
Yeah.
and try to make the rest of it vaguely interesting, which I would say the template for that, weirdly, was Toy Story 5, in that there wasn't really a lot special about it, but they had the characters down and they followed the Toy Story storyline, which is something happens, a pathogen is introduced into the body, and then the toys make a plan, fail the plan, fix the plan, make a new plan, repeat. And they just repeat that as many times as they can through the movie. You're done. And that was the one thing. That's the one thing they did right in Toy Story 5. And in these superhero movies, just get the basic thing right.
I think
I don't get it. I don't understand.
You're on to it, but I think, and you said it, the antagonist is almost crucial. Think Darth Vader versus who was the bad guy in Wonder Woman, right? God of War, I guess. But it was just so poorly done. And even Wonder Woman, fantastic, lots of heroics, just great scenes, a cast, very likable cast. But then that third act, just trash. It was just like, okay, another weak, badly CGI'd villain, and that happens a lot.
You're talking about Superman, not Wonder Woman.
No, I'm talking about well, exactly. I was talking about Wonder Woman, but you could really apply it to a lot of these movies, and I think this suffers from the same problem.
Well, look what they did with Captain America. They rushed him into the modern age. You had Red Skull, an absolutely fantastic bad guy.
Yes,
and for crying out loud, make 3 goddamn movies during World War II, and let's just see, Captain America get through Red Skull, a few more times, please.
Yeah.
They just, everything gets abandoned. The bad guy gets killed. What?
Well, the biggest fundamental issue with this, and I don't even get me started on Toy Story. I don't want to get into that.
I know.
But with this movie here, and the biggest problem isn't so much even that it's Supergirl, it's that we have, and Andre pointed this out in his video, and this is where I think this is going to be a big problem. This movie is basically everything that's been wrong with Hollywood for the last 10, 15 years, right? Like, this is basically a man's story plastered with women on top of the characters, and we're just supposed to go and pretend it's something new, right? Like, we've been told several times over that this is basically True Grit. What world should Supergirl already being told in a story that's reflective of True Grit, unless she's in the girl role, right? Like, this makes absolutely no fucking sense whatsoever to have her in the Rooster Cogburn role.
Right. Good point.
Really
What
quickly,
the
guys.
fuck
I'm
are
sorry.
you doing? Sorry,
Sorry,
go ahead.
Tom.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take off, but I totally am with Tom. I gotta go. Love you guys, and I'll see Andre top of the hour live
indeed.
on the Slant.
We're
just
See you, Paul.
there.
Bye, guys. Much love.
Take care.
So yeah, I have very little faith in this movie now. I had very little going into it to begin with, but my God, like, how stupid can you be? You had a year to fix this if this was the case.
That's my point.
You know what? I think the really stupid thing is that it's not a matter of just fixing the movie. They should never have made it.
I agree. Like,
Because
this
they
should have been
announced
Batgirl.
this-
Absolutely.
In January of 2023, that's when this was announced. And then the Marvels came out in the fall of 2023, and it basically killed all female-led movies for the next 10 years. They had time then to see, shit, we need to turn things around. We can't do this. We cannot put out a Supergirl movie in this environment. That's what they needed to do, because that's the real problem here. It's a Supergirl movie. Honestly, who the fuck cares about Supergirl? Who wants a Supergirl movie in the first place? Fine, keep her on the CW if you so please, where she got 0 viewers.
I'm saying that's the other problem.
But in movies, I mean, you can only put out like 1 or 2 movies a year. That's some prime real estate right there. And you have to
But
be
don't you
real
think that's
fucking
kind of a
selective about it.
2020? That's kind of a 2020 perspective. I mean,
No,
any
it was a
story-
2023
In a way,
perspective, and we're
exactly,
when we're in
yeah.
2026
Andre's
right
right.
now.
But I think, but listen, I in all good graces to James Gunn for actually fulfilling your 2020 vision. Okay, that's his fault. The fact is, it could have been a good movie. They chose not to make one.
And they
Correct.
had time, and that's what Andre's point is, and I have to agree with him.
I mean, and my point is, even though you're right, fundamentally right, it's not the movie I would have wanted to see. All they had to do is make it okay. They couldn't do that. So you're
that's-
right.
You're not.
That's where Andre's coming from, and I agree with him. You had enough time to shift some gears. It still could have been technically a Supergirl movie in respects, right? But what you had here is and this is probably what happened, why they did redo some reshoots or add in some Lobo. And all that
Added
kind of
Lobo.
business. That's what I'm saying. Like, to me, it should have been more of a team-up/team type movie if this is what you're going to do. But at the same time, to me, this is a completely wrong fucking direction to be going. You have the Trinity. And again, I've heard messy shit about, like, part of the reason Batman and stuff like that are being kept off of limits is because they have to, wait till Batman 2 is done. And there might even be some shit where they have to wait a moratorium out for Wonder Girl or Wonder Woman. I don't know why I just call her Wonder Girl. Wonder Woman. So there's some shit there that might be going down too. That's why they're dragging their feet on that. Because
The other thing that I did wonder about was, why did they make Superman a team team superhero movie when we didn't want that at all? We wanted pretty much it to
we
be a
didn't want
singular
that
Superman movie,
necessarily.
and Supergirl could have been the one with the Green Lantern and all of that.
This is the movie
stuff.
that shouldn't even exist, right? Because let's be real, the original Superman project, and this is where James Gunn really fucked up, and I've said this back then, is when he decided he was going to take over DC, things should have changed. Instead of him trying to reconfigure what he was doing into a new universe, he should have kind of restarted from scratch, used what he could, but then go, okay, so now moving forward, I got control over everything. Because when he wrote his Superman that he ended up making, he wasn't planning on making a bunch of other films. It was just going to be Superman, kind of like The Batman was its own thing, right?
Oh.
That was the whole thing, and that's what people don't understand, and this is why I keep saying that he never hired Henry Cavill. So this whole idea that he fired Henry Cavill is bullshit. He was never, ever, ever once going to make a movie with Henry Cavill involved. He was going to make a Superman movie before he was the head of DC. This all came into fruition way before that, because he had worked on Suicide Squad, and they're like, what do you want to work on next? He's like, well, I have a few ideas. He did Peacemaker, and then he's like, I think I got something I want to do with Superman, kind of like as an also ran, like what Matt Reeves is doing with the Batman, and they're like, perfect, brilliant. Because all this time, as I was being told, they were whining and dining him, pulling him along, going, please, just do this for us. Just run the DC universe. Just please be the guy. Be the Kevin Feige. Do this for us. And he kept going, I don't know. I just don't want to do it. So when he did finally decide to do it, they let him have his cake and eat it too. And as Andres pointed out, it was the Peacemaker universe and not a brand new fucking universe. The Peacemaker shit should have ended, and he should have started fresh. And this is brand new. Nothing is coming back.
Hey,
and again,
hey,
I don't know if he has to wait a certain amount of time, but yeah.
And then he fucked up the Peacemaker universe. So
yeah, well, there's that too. So
anyway.
Clayface is next, right? So I mean, he's really.
Well, I've been hearing good shit about Clayface, but I heard good shit about this too. So who knows?
Just think about it for just a minute, though. Nobody is going to know anything about Clayface. This is not a superheroic universe. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, that's fine if you're already chugging along and you're hitting on all cylinders, but
I heard it might be a backdoor into Gotham, because this is what I've been hearing: is he can't do Batman until the Batman 2 is done.
Okay.
And I heard there might be. When did Wonder Woman 80? That was in 2020 when 84 came out.
Yeah.
Okay, so they might have just met the point where I think there was like some 5-year moratorium they had to wait, because otherwise, if they had made some Wonder Woman movie between now and then, it would have had to have Gal Gadot in it.
I understand.
So that's what my understanding was.
Well, I don't,
because she was contracted.
I don't think they need to do a Wonder Woman movie right now. I think they're
going to do a series, and that's why they said we're doing a series instead of a movie. Remember that?
Yep. I think this is going to open worse than The Flash. Personally, I think Supergirl.
So. Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, Toy Story is going to kill it, and like I was joking earlier, Jackass might even pull.
Oh,
an
it's going to
upset
give
on
it a run for its money.
It might pull a Scary Movie on it.
Oh, golly.
I don't see that
Unbelievable.
happening necessarily because I don't see the buzz for Jackass that I did for Scary Movie. But
Somebody was saying that after all this, I think it was Scribe that had posted something about the media tie-ins that have given it $100 million in additional advertising or marketing,
Now,
which is
correct you-
actually it's actually lower than like previous DC movies. But just because
Yeah.
more people are aware of something doesn't mean they're going to embrace it. I mean, maybe more people are aware of the Strait of Hormuz and Iran, doesn't mean that they're
Well-
suddenly going to be supporters of it.
I got to say this with Kalekioki. A pointing gun was where they fucked up, and that's on Zaslav. I disagree with this. The part was where Zaslav let him have free reign and let him continue down the path he was already on. At that moment, Zaslav should have said, okay, now that you're taking over, you need to start fresh. We can't have anything convoluted. We can't have, you continuing down this path of your own little, weird shit that you've been doing. You need to put the big boys up front first and take this very seriously. Because I was fine with his Superman. I had no issue with the tone. Like I got where he was going with this at first. I'm like, okay, so he's doing more Silver Age, kind of wink, wink, nudge, nudge, kind of more into the lighter Superman, which is fine with me. We've had so many heavy Superman movies that I was okay with that. But again, we're at this point now with Supergirl, and the biggest travesty to me is you had not only the opportunity to reconfigure this film, but you had the opportunity to fix the biggest fuck up in your first movie, and you didn't. And you doubled the fuck down on it. This is going to piss off so many people, especially people who have been going off for a year going, well, is it true? Is it this? Was it Brainiac? Was it Lex? Was it, whatever?
Yeah.
Like at this point, we're going, well, fuck that noise. You're just really as bad as everybody said you were. And I agree. Picking this Tom King story was the first fucking mistake.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going Silver Age. What are you doing?
Yeah.
If you're going to have the G golly shucks Superman, then you have to have the honorable Supergirl. You can't have her being a fucking drunk whore. What the fuck world do we live in?
Yeah.
Because
It
to
did get a
me,
bump. By the way, it's up to 62 now. They've got 86 reviews. The reviews are pouring in. So now it's 62%. Go ahead, Tom. I know.
no, I'm done. I'm pissed at James for even making this decision to begin with. And he had plenty of time, and he had canceled how many other projects?
I know. I almost feel, this might have been okay if it was more Tank Girl than
Right.
just a drunk, sad, mad, angry revenge tour for Supergirl or whatever. You could have made her a badass and that been informed by the fact that she was still around after Clark got shipped off, to Earth. I get what they've done, but the problem with Tom King is all of Tom King's stories. If anybody doesn't know this, Wally West, Flash Jr. or whatever, the Flash, he wound up murdering a bunch of superheroes in something called Crisis. Oh gosh, I wish I could remember the name. Heroes in
Crisis on Infinite Earth.
No, Heroes in Crisis. He made the Flash. They fixed it.
Are you talking about the
he murdered a bunch
Flashpoint
of people.
paradox, or are you talking about something
No.
else?
This is something much more recent that Tom
okay.
did.
All
All
right.
of Tom King's. He even made Guy Gardner a sociopathic stalker. He does all this deconstruction stuff with heroes, and he did it with Supergirl. And it's always kind of icky what he does. He examines it from a realistic point of view. It's not out of the blue. He certainly pulls some threads to make it all come together, and it makes sense, but it doesn't make it entertaining.
Well, from what I've heard from people like Nick Weiser and stuff who are really heavy into comics and stuff,
Mhm.
and if he's in the chat, he can back me up on this.
Yeah.
Is that Tom writes all these stories? He wrote all these stories ahead of time. Like there are already stories he had, and then he just applied superheroes to him. And that's why 9 times out of 10, these superheroes don't really fit.
Yeah.
From what I've heard. So it's just these kind of social commentaries and ripoffs that he does. And I don't even know really much about. I've learned more about him in the last year than I've ever known about this guy in my life. I'm sorry. I don't understand his path going from CIA to comic books.
I know.
Like
He
what
is-
kind of a
he's a form-
shitty CIA agent do you have to be that where you end up in comic books?
Yeah,
He was
or
a-
how good to destroy culture.
Right. Yeah, he was a former
That's
counterterrorism
true.
agent. Yeah, he was.
There you go. There's that
Right.
aspect too that
Yeah.
people brought up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we do need to move on here.
Yeah.
We do. We have
because,
super
you
chats to
also
get
have
to.
Yeah, I don't know how many super chats we have left.
We have a couple left, and I
Yeah.
have an appointment to get to as well.
Exactly.
Sonic X2 says thoughts on Ghostbusters animated show new look. Yeah, this was another thing that was on the top, but it got completely buried by Supergirl and Conan. We got to look at the new Ghostbusters animated cartoon. I kind of wish they had gone back to a more 2D in the style of the real Ghostbusters, but
Yeah.
I guess we're getting a CGI.
Is this his own thing, or is it something that's supposed to be?
I
canon with
believe
the
it's supposed to be
movies?
canon with the Afterlife and Frozen Empire, is my understanding.
Yeah, because that's kind of like you have to pay some attention to it.
yeah,
It looks pretty good. It's Night Shift, Ghostbusters Night Shift.
yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah, I mean, as far as I know, it's I believe it's all new characters,
Mm.
but there is connections to.
It's Ghostbusters has become Stranger Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's set in 1994, 5 years after Ghostbusters 2.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh,
there you go. So this is going to be in between.
Yeah.
So interesting. It'll be
I
interesting
hope,
how
I
they
hope it's
mess
an
with that.
all-girl crew.
No, but it's a DEI crew, that's for sure.
Interesting.
that's
So
fine.
we'll see how it turns out. So let's keep rolling here. Thank you for that, Sonic.
It's a good intellectual property.
Darth Maul's lower half is here. The rest of him hasn't made it yet. Watched Motu yesterday. Tom, you are a prophet. That movie can't take itself seriously, even for a second. Haven't felt so annoyed for ages. Yeah. Well, I think the box office is kind of showing how they pissed off the fans with that. Or they haven't, they decided to just stay out of it. And that's kind of a lot of what I've been hearing. Dark Hierophant says, go watch The Furious. Don't waste your money on Supergirl. Yeah, I've heard good things about Furious. Yeah. ActionCom says 3 Days of the Condor Man.
Oh, there's a legacy sequel.
Wow, this has become the reading channel.
Yeah. Dada Miwao says America is definitely on the downturn.
If you'd like to
Armstrong.
watch 2 hours of us just reading things, we'd be happy to do it. Only
Yeah,
for
just
you.
throw out
This is the
some randomness.
contemplative channel.
I've got a new
I'll say it
script
with a
here
little
that I'm going to
style.
be reading if you want to join me later.
I gotta
3
write a
Days of the
script.
Condor. Or should I say it like 3
I am
Days of the
overwhelmed
Condor?
with appalling news. I don't know where to start.
Oh,
Oh, I'm
balls.
sorry, Paul.
A
But-
Brazilian family was convicted for homeschooling their kids and
Saw
not
that.
teaching them about gender-related subjects.
Right.
Oh my god,
You saw
that's
that?
the whole point
Yes.
of homeschooling. So
That's
yeah.
why they're homeschooling. Yeah. Come
But
to
they were
America.
America.
Kids.
They went in and the kids were reading 30 books a year and they were polymaths and everything else. No, the Lula government in Brazil is a corrupt left-wing affair.
Awful.
So
Awful.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
And then Dada Miwao
anyway,
thinks
we
that
should get
America's
going
on the
instead of starting a whole
downturn.
discussion on Brazilian homeschooling.
Yeah, I think we're in the middle of something here. I know I've had a rough go of it as of late too. Klekioki asks,
I don't
ask
hear
Gary
Tom.
or as
Tom. It's only you and I.
No,
why
wait,
am I
and
not?
Tom's talking. Tom's
Is
talking.
he?
I hear him.
Oh, I can't
I was
hear
going
him.
to say he keeps interrupting me, but anyhow,
Maybe
ask
he's
Gary
muted.
or as for more info on Tom King
I
and why I
can't
hate
mute
it.
him.
No, but he must not be hearing me.
And
StreamYard must be
Andre's
having a
frozen
stroke.
to me.
Okay, yeah, that
no, there
means
he
that
goes.
no, Chato
But I
is
can't
having
hear
issues.
anyone.
There's like some stuff there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I'm
then
going
Eddie
to go
Fergoso,
because it looks
yeah,
like my
says,
computer is down.
all right, we love you,
We
Paul.
should
Check
get
out
you.
Paul's
Love you,
channel.
Paul.
thanks for joining.
Anyway, Eddie Fergoso sends in 2 to say, GT Conan for Cartoon Network. No speculation prior. I wonder. Well, it's going to be on Amazon, but I believe it's the Cartoon Network Studios that's behind it. Is that the situation, Andre, or what's
Yeah.
going on here? Because I've seen their
Well-
logo on it.
Probably.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
a
yeah,
it's
yeah,
Cartoon Network production, and it's going to be on Amazon.
Yeah.
And then he says no speculation prior. Yeah, you know why? Because this is something that they kept under wraps. Very, very few people knew something about it, which is why there haven't been any leaks, and which is also the reason why I haven't said anything about it, because Fred would freaking strangle me because he knew it would know it would be me. because everyone else has been able to shut up about
He
this.
said
So,
Crom
yeah.
after you.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's a good thing Arnold didn't say something stupid about it.
Yeah, no, he wouldn't know.
I'm surprised he didn't know and didn't say anything was my point. But yeah, because considering, like, I don't know if he was necessarily supposed to say anything yet about the whole Conan thing, but it worked out.
Yeah,
to his
no, you mean the
advantage, I
King
guess.
Conan stuff? Well, that's him
Yeah.
trying to wish it into
I know.
into happening.
I know, but you said there is
Exerting
some connection with that. You did say. I don't know how much you can get into that, but it's
Well, there's no connection between this particular animated series and the movie, none whatsoever.
well, I
There
thought you
would
said
have
there was.
No. That was prior iterations. That was what they were doing for Netflix at the time, but not anymore. That is now out of the window. So this series, this Genndy Tarkovsky series, has zero relation for anything else. Has nothing to do with what happens in any movie.
Well, I misunderstood what you said yesterday then. So, okay.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. And then we are caught up, it looks like. Unless I
Awesome.
missed something on Rumble that I don't think I did.
I don't think so.
But I think we had some earlier ones that the mods had shared in the chat that I did not see.
I think that those were from
Oh, yeah,
the
we did
YouTube,
get
and we
those.
got them all. I don't think
Okay,
there
we
was
did.
anything
Yes,
from
we're
Rumble
good.
today.
So, yes, we are good. There you go.
So yeah,
So,
Chris, what
Chris, what do you
should
got going
people
on?
be reading on Bleeding Fool?
Well, top of the fold is this Genndy animation news. If we didn't already kind of cover that in its full width and breadth, we kind of have his quote from the animation festival where this was released. We also have, if you want to see our review of Citizen Vigilante, you'll have to scroll down to latest reviews at Bleeding Fool. We also talk a little bit about, I thought it might come up today, but you guys may have talked about it Monday when I wasn't around. James Wan is the one doing that RoboCop TV series. And
No, this we have not mentioned yet.
that is on Bleeding Fool. And spoiler alert, it's not going to focus on the main, the Peter Weller RoboCop, Alex Murphy.
So it's not the continuation then.
No. They're saying that Alex Murphy may be a mentor to this.
So we're going to
new-
get a new, flashier female RoboCop is what we're going to
Well, maybe she'll be in a wheelchair and, on and on. But that is what I'm hearing.
They,
James
them, cop.
Wan, the one encouraging highlight is James Wan's involvement. I mean, he doesn't always hit it out of the park, but he's very good, and it could have a very dark tone given that he's involved. So we've got that.
I don't
also.
trust Amazon for shit.
Well, yeah.
They've already fucked up my Masters of the Universe. They're gonna fuck up RoboCop too.
Yeah.
We're gonna sit there and go, you know what? That remake wasn't so damn bad.
It
I
wasn't.
guarantee it. It wasn't, but I mean, there's gonna be a lot more people. Eventually, you're gonna go, you know what? We should give that a little bit more of a fair shake, because at least it took the fucking franchise seriously.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a fuck. I already know Amazon's gonna fuck this up somehow, some way.
Yeah.
I have zero confidence.
It'd be great
in
if they
Amazon.
somebody could go back. And there's been a lot of chatter about John Byrne, a comic book author and creator. He's an illustrator and did Fantastic Four for years for Marvel. He did the X-Men for years. Well, after he got off the X-Men as a passion project, he wrote another 17 or 20 something issues of it, drew it and everything on his own. He would post the pages on his forum. And Abrams Books has just put all those together, had them colored and everything. And now it's coming out this week in hardcover. It's called X-Men Elsewhen. And it's his continuing after his run on the X-Men ended. Wouldn't it be great if somebody could just, of their own, as a passion project, finish that 2002 animated series? And eventually Mattel says, hey, this is great. Let's just put this out as another Blu-ray or whatever and finish it off. It could happen one day, especially with the advances in AI and animation and so on. I don't know. I mean, we can dream about these things, but in the meantime, they're just tearing our favorite IPs apart. It's a shame. But check it out at bleedingfull.com. I appreciate it, guys.
Indeed.
Yeah, do check that out. I know I will be.
Andre,
And
anything
your
else
new
to share?
video. I didn't get to watch the whole video that dropped like 45 minutes before the show today, but I got to go check that out today.
Yeah, do check that out. And I mean, that's worth follow-up articles, because there's some info in it that it's not really revealed elsewhere. We have done that this show as well, clarified some some misconceptions that people can get from the official word alone.
Matter of fact, I'll go ahead and embed your video in the article in case somebody
Go for
jumps over the article. Yeah, I'll do
Go
that.
for it.
All right. Well, with that, take care of yourselves and each other, and we will see you very, very soon.
Yeah, indeed. And you'll be seeing me over at Latino Slant in just 20 minutes.
Indeed.
So
There you go.
with that, yeah, take care, everyone. And let's bring on the koalas in the ring.
Koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain, no fucks given. Koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain, no fucks given. Koalas in the rain.